Parsha that after Moshe Rabbeinu had killed the Egyptian who was beating the Jew, he had hidden the body in the sand, and he believed that his action was not noticed, was not witnessed. Next day he goes out and he sees two Jews fighting with one another. One's about to strike the other, and he says to him, Rosha lama sakes reyecho, evil one, why are you striking your fellow? And immediately they responded in a way, they mean to say, you're going to judge us the way you killed the Egyptian. And he knew immediately from that statement that word got out, and these people informed on him to the upper echelons of government that he killed the Egyptian. And as a result of this, he was judged to be put to death, and miraculously he fled Egypt. And he fled Egypt for more than 60 years till he returned as the Goel, as the Redeemer of Israel. The question is, Dasan Aviram, how evil could they be? The only advocate we have in the palace is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu's relationship with Paro, he was an adopted grandchild. Read the Midrash, Paro had exceptional love for him. He's the adopted son of Bas Paro. If there's any chance the Jews are suffering, are in bondage for so many years, the only chance we have that it should maybe be alleviated to some degree, the suffering and the pain, we have an advocate, the adopted prince, grandson of Paro, who's a Jew. And they go unabashedly, they go and they inform him, and he has to flee. And the only reason why they had that level of connection to the upper echelons of government, the Gemara tells us, because they were wealthy. And because even among the slave class, the wealthy Jews, therefore they were able to come upon those sources in government to inform Moshe. Later, when Moshe was able to return, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe, Mesu kol ha'anoshim, those people informed on you, they died. So Moras, but they're still alive. Dasan Aviram, they were a bone of contention till they went down with the Adas Korach, with the community of Korach. So Moras says, Yordim Midchseim, they became impoverished, and Oni Choshev Kemes. But when they're wealthy, but the question is, who are these people? As Jews, where's your conscience as a Jew? How do you not take into consideration the predicament of other Jews? Are they so cruel and so hard-hearted? We find by the story of Korach, Moshe Rabbeinu, his last-ditch effort, he's trying to reason with them because he understands, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, what's going to happen if they don't do tshuva. So he goes to Korach, he goes to Dasan Aviram to try to make peace the last moment. And they both stand defiantly. And they blaspheme Hashem and blaspheme him. And they say, you took us out of land that flows with milk and honey. And where did you take us? Into a desert to die? This is the statement. You understand? Person is in Auschwitz, Chas v'Sholem. And Jews are being killed and murdered and tortured. You took us out of land of milk and honey. Egypt was a land of milk and honey. I mean, what kind of statement is this? They weren't in touch with reality. But that's the statement they made. And therefore, you promised us better, and here we're meant to die in the desert. From that statement we see that the certain people, because of their own personal situation, financial situation, family situation, they live within their own vacuum. Nothing exists outside of their own lives. And because Dasan Aviram were of wealthy class, as we said, Chazal tells us that's where they're able to inform a Moshe Rabbeinu. Because of that situation, their own predicament, they were totally detached from their brethren. The suffering of their brothers, they were not in touch with. It's like a person who's suffering from narcissism, totally involved in your own reality, and outside your own reality, nothing exists. This was the rishus, the evil of Dasan Aviram. And it finally came to a critical point when they blasphemed Hashem and Moshe, when they said, the eyes of those men should be gouged out if we're going to come and submit to your leadership. This is when that was the end. And that's when they were swallowed up by the earth. But again, that they can make that kind of statement, to be so cold-hearted, to see themselves, and we find this unfortunately through history, over and over again. There were Jews in the United States before World War II, or in the earlier time when the immigrations came over from Europe and from Eastern Europe, and you had the wealthy German Jews in Boston. They saw these people as almost chas v'sholem, as vermin. Literally, that's how they saw them. Impoverished, rags. They didn't want to identify with them. And they had no sense of feeling to these people whatsoever. But a person could, as a result of his own personal situation, especially if he feels he'll be compromised, they live in their own life as if nothing exists outside of themselves.